Probably the most recognizable and familiar action movie franchise gets a sequel this weekend. So let's see how this one goes. Okay, so The Expendables 3. So The Expendables 3 is of course a third installment to the successful action movie franchise The Expendables. And if you guys don't know who the Expendables are, that's okay, I'll fill you guys in. It's where Sylvester Stallone gathers every action movie star you can possibly think of, put them together as a team and make one giant awesome action movie. Now I like the Expendables franchise, the second one being my favorite. If you guys have seen the movie, you have to admit Jean-Claude Van Damme as the villain, probably the best villain you've seen in an action movie in years. The guy was seriously kick-ass. Now in this Expendables installment, we see Sylvester Stallone and his old crew. They come across an original Expendables member played by Mel Gibson. And this guy's a war criminal. He sells weapons to other countries and he makes billions off of it, so of course the Expendables have to stop him. And through a failed attempt, Sylvester Stallone tells his crews like, look guys, we're getting too old for this, so I'm gonna fire you guys so you guys don't have to go through this line of duty again. Sylvester Stallone is still gonna go after Mel Gibson, but he needs a new team, full of young people you don't know their names and you don't care about. And seriously, most of this movie consists of Sylvester Stallone gathering this new team and putting them into action. Which makes me think, okay, cool, they're taking a different direction than they did in the first two movies. I give them major props for that, but all of that just doesn't work. Because if you look at the original Expendables, they had this charm, this sense of humor, they all worked well together, and that carried on to the second movie, which made the first and second one so awesome. Yeah, they contain cheesy one-liners, and they don't apply to logic or the law of physics, but there's a part in your brain that just locks it away, throws away the key, and just sit back and enjoy a popcorn movie. And it's an ode to old school 80s action movies, which I grew up with personally. Yeah, all these things that I mentioned, Expendables 3 just doesn't have it. Now let me break this movie down for you. This movie is a PG-13 movie, while the first two is rated R. The reason why it's PG-13 is because you don't see people get blown up or torn in half like you did in the first two. And the thing I said about the brain throwing away certain things while going into this movie is something also brings into your head that you kind of want to see people get torn up by the Expendables. As sadistic as it sounds, that is something that you think while going into an action movie like this, admit it. Takes a little bit of points away from the movie, but not as much as they did with the characters. Because Sylvester Stallone has to build a new, younger team who have to stop Mel Gibson. And the team consists of Ronda Rousey, the dude who was in the Hercules movie earlier this year, and the other two guys, what were their names again? Seriously, by the end of this movie, you don't know their names and you don't care about them. Only reason why I know Ronda Rousey is because she was talking shit on Gal Gadot for being Wonder Woman earlier this week. She was saying something like, oh, this girl can't lift a 2-pound weight to save her life. Why is she Wonder Woman? Granted, Ronda can easily kick my ass, but that's basically what I know about her. And when you see this new team into action, you don't see the charm and the chemistry like you do with the old guy Expendables. Which you can argue, yeah, they're a new team, it's gonna take time for them to develop their relationship. But by the end of this movie, you see their relationship developing a little bit, but not as much as I should have wanted it. And a lot of the times they were in action, I'm like, dude, get these new guys off the screen, I want to see the old guys kick some ass. And that's what makes the Expendables an awesome modern action movie. Because admit it, you want to see an old guy tear another guy in half. Yeah, the new guys try to be like the old guy Expendables, where they try to do the cheesy one-liner formula, but it all didn't work for me. Because they would say something and I'm just like, yep, that didn't work. They try to give the new guys more screen time and I thought that was a bad call. And the villain in this movie, Mel Gibson, he was okay for the most part. He wasn't as awesome as Jean-Claude Van Damme in The Expendables 2, where he was like, do you want to kill me like a man or a sheep? You have to admit, that's pretty awesome. What I do like about the villain though is that Mel Gibson and Sylvester Stallone, they used to be brothers in arms, and you can feel the tension between them. But the stuff that Mel Gibson did, And the tension between Sylvester Stallone and Mel Gibson is like the best part of the whole movie. So in the end, Expendables 3 was a mediocre action movie. The action scenes in the movie were dull and I kinda wish they were more R-rated. The new characters, they tried too hard and you just end up not giving a shit about them. And Mel Gibson, he was an okay villain. I look at this movie like the Hangover 3 of the Expendables franchise. Yeah, they tried to go through a different direction, all of it did not work and it didn't feel like a fitting installment to the franchise. So I say if you're gonna see the Expendables 3, just wait for it to come out on Netflix. Have you guys seen the Expendables 3? What did you guys think about it? Be sure to leave a like and comment on the video, and as always, there's a link below for my Twitter and my Facebook. Keep in contact with me. But in the meantime, I have to get going. Get to the chopper!